Well, here we have the HobbyKing Bungee launcher set up and ready to go. A few tips and tricks. Okay, with the pin up the end, here, make sure that goes down to the ground, because when you release the bungee, this cord is going to fly off and it'll fly up into the field. So you want to make sure that's retained. Now, back down at this end of the bungee launcher, I've made a couple of modifications. Firstly, and this is the most important thing, is I've put a safety pin in here, because the amount of load that is on this ring, which is obviously connected off to the cord, is immense. And if that were to slip up and off, you'd be in a world of pain. So, for the sake of a 30-cent, they call them R-clips or hitch pins, that will prevent the bungee cord coming off. Next, I have, because of the amount of load on this pedal, I have put some bigger holes in the front and back, and will secure this down with pegs. So basically all the load is on the pedal here, and it's well supported. And then the only load that is on the actual frame is essentially it's just anchored here with a couple of then at the front here I've used the HobbyKing supplied nails, and that just literally keeps it true. That just keeps it square, the bungee square. Now the next thing is, how do you rig the cord? What you want to do is you want to have, obviously the lower cord there has the tension on it, but you've got to tie this knot, etc., and position the plane so that there is adequate tension also on the cord that's going to pull the plane. Otherwise, if you don't have the tension on here, if you have it sort of sitting like this, if you have it sitting loose, when this cord goes, that is just going to rip out whatever hook you've got in there. So you need to have this positioned back as far as you can get it. I mean, literally pull it back as far as you can get it, so that it too has tension on it. The next thing, trap for young players, is if you've got a big plane like the HobbyKing Walrus here, is make sure that the tail plane is actually supported on the rails. I've seen people take off with it down like that, or they have the plane further back, and of course it rips the tail off. So we need to have the elevator plane resting nice and neatly on the having it rest nice and neatly on the frame. And then finally, just make sure that everything is true and square, because there's some amazing kinetic energy in that bungee cord, and you don't want it to veer off to the left or right. So let's see how we go with our HobbyKing launch. So here we go on the first launch. Now, of course, the other thing is you can't obviously throttle up, because if you throttle up, the plane will just move forward, because there's nothing holding it from moving forward. So it's going to be a fine art of pushing the pedal and throttling up as we go. So let's see how we go. Back stick, bit of back stick just to keep her up. Let's see how we go. And then power on, away we go. Back stick, bit of throttle. So a bit of throttle and a bit of backstick and she shot away.